championship record, 13:10.15, Jack Buckner. I was there in the stadium when he did it, and it was one of 9 gold medals I think Great Britain won at the time in Stuttgart. Absolutely fabulous day and a fabulous performance as well by Jack Buckner.
Was indeed, and let's see whether Mo Farah can. Of course, he repeated that in 2010, and here he is. I'm not sure in Barcelona. He was expecting to be back in 2 years' time. He would have had all thoughts on London, but here he is defending his title. And he has up against him, here's Espana, the man who took the title in 2006. I haven't seen too much of Espana this year. In fact, he hasn't run a 5,000 metres, so be interested to see what sort of shape he's in. Daniele Meucci from Italy, who took a bronze behind Chris Thompson and Mo Farah in the 10,000 metres. Arne Gabius in good form. You saw that 13:13, the German producing some brilliant form this year. So one or two names to look out for. Rybakov there, one of the famous Russian twins, better known perhaps on the country, certainly when they were juniors together. Ibrahimov, a man who again knows, well, he's got close to Mo, but like a lot of people in the world this year, the last 2-3 years, not able to live with the sort of finish that Mo Farah can produce. That 1500 metre pace, 3:34, that these men can't really live with. So the European 5,000 metre final gets underway, and the defending champion, and the champion from 2006, set to lock horns again. But I think it's really going to be about whether anybody else really wants to attack this race and see what sort of tactics they can employ to not win it. They'll be very surprised no matter what anybody does, whether they're going to have any weaponry to beat Mo Farah. But there is a silver and a bronze medal as well. Of course, Mo will just want to make sure he gets it right, keeps out of trouble, and whenever he feels like it, really will get involved in the race. But for the time being, perhaps as expected, he's right at the very back.
Just about to say, Steve, that anybody who knows Mo Farah knows the sort of way that he can run would not be at all surprised to see him, 50-odd metres behind Rybakov, I think it is, yes, in the lead. And just looking quite comfortable, because things will certainly wind up as this race progresses. And that is just the sort of workout Mo Farah needs. And not surprising either that the Spaniards are there too, including Garcia, or Espana rather, I do beg his pardon. And Mo Farah just making his presence felt there. Well, Rybakov has really taken this race by the scruff of the neck, hasn't he? And a good experience, I think, as well, for the two young Britons in there. Mitch Goose there just right in the middle of the pack. Mo Farah beginning to work his way through.
Yeah, good opportunity for Mitch Goose and Ross Fraser. Fraser based in the US. It's a real pity. I mean, as this season was kind of developing at 5,000 metres for British athletes, we had Tom Farrell. I mean, it certainly looked very exciting. Of course, Nick McCormack, who cemented his place in the team at the weekend by finishing in the top 2. Chris Thompson, of course, Mo. And suddenly we had 4, at least 4, maybe looking as though maybe get more, get the A standard. And unfortunately, both Tom Farrell and Chris Thompson. Somebody's gone down there. That was a lot of pushing and shoving. You know who was caused by inadvertently, because as soon as Mo Farah makes a move, everybody makes a move. And of course, Arikan there, early enough for him to recover. Don't panic. Just trying to get himself back onto that group, and he's done that fairly successfully. But as soon as Mo sort of started to move, everybody else starts to push and shove and jostle. And Arikan, unfortunately, going down. But yes, coming back to Tom Farrell, Chris Thompson. Tom, unfortunately, it looks as though he's certainly not going to be able to get back. But Chris Thompson was at the UK trials at the weekend, 2:42 through the first 1,000 metres. And I know he's trying desperately to try and get himself into some sort of shape and get himself back running regularly so he can at least compete in the Olympic Games at the 10,000 metres. Arikan, well, I'm not sure he needed to do that. I think given that lead group, that second group is just running fairly comfortably, he didn't really need to push himself right to the front of that group so quickly after that fall. He may well pay for that a little later. So Rybakov in the lead and Meucci at the front of the chasing group.
Well, Rybakov hasn't let up at all, and the chasing pack have not bothered to go with him or close him down. Rybakov looking very comfortable. As we go back to the javelin, there'll be an almighty roar when Tero Pitkämäki launches this one. 77.50, he leads this group. And as this competition progresses, we'll give you an indication of what it is going to require in order to make it through to the final. But still, it's Rybakov in the lead, and there's no let up there. España just jogging along at the minute, the European champion back in 2006, and of course beaten by Mo Farah 4 years after that. Fraser just on the shoulder of Mo Farah as well.
Early stages in the men's 5,000 metres, and Rybakov, the early leader, still with a lead of about 25 metres or so. Mo Farah happy to sit in the pack and just keep himself out of trouble, knowing that the real danger, if you really can see any danger for him, is in this pack. And as Arikan of Turkey just moves on the outside in the all-red, Mo Farah follows him, and the tall figure of Gabius of Germany knows that the danger is there, and he follows Mo Farah as well, and all of a sudden the race takes off. So Mo Farah following Arikan, Rybakov, the early leader, will soon start to feel the heat on the back of his neck as these guys start to run him down. The first 1,000 metres wasn't particularly fast at all, it was steady, but now all of a sudden this 5,000 metre final has really got underway.
Well, Arikan, who leads the chasers at the moment, he's opened up about a 3 metre, 4 metre, 5 metre gap on Mo Farah. Arikan's run 13.05 as a lifetime best. Ibrahimov there, he's a very useful athlete. He's got a good sprint finish as well, the Azerbaijani.
I think this is wise running from, I mean, Arikan, we've talked about Mo Farah's speed and his pace and his, if you line up all the 1,500 metre sort of times, he's way ahead of most of these guys. There's a couple of run under 3:40, but I mean, Arikan, for instance, his best is about 3:46, 47 at 1,500 metres. It just shows you why he wants to get the pace moving. As you said, Paul, a 13.5 runner, former Kenyan, of course, and Arikan knows that his best chance of certainly winning a medal here is to make this a bit tough, certainly at least the second half of the race. But Rybakov's time at the front looks as though it may well not last too much longer.
So Rybakov still leads just from Arikan of Turkey. Mo Farah sitting comfortably back in third place, and shadowing him is Ibrahimov. Foster and Goose, the other two Britons, are back in the pack there, but still staying with this pace at the moment. The very tall figure there of two Germans, Fleiger and a big German as well, who's a very useful runner. His name I've just
Gabius has just moved into fifth place, and he's certainly the better of them. He had a brilliant run in Oslo, actually, Gabius, 13.13, which pushed him into territory he'd never really been in before. And for the first time, Mo Farah now stretching out at the front himself. He's just running so comfortably here. This is the sort of pace which, for a lot of athletes, will start to stress them a little bit, but not for Mo Farah. He's in such good shape. And the difference between Mo and these guys is, I mean, a lot of people can kick off a slow pace, but Mo can do that, but he can also kick so hard off a pretty hard pace as well, and that's what he needs to be able to do. He knows what's going to be required come the Olympic Games. Could be quick. Others know that the danger he possesses in terms of his speed at the end of a race, and I think there'll be a few in the Kenyan camp and one maybe in the Ethiopians as well. The 10,000 metres will be thinking, we're going to have to make it hard. 2:47 that kilometre. Been up and down the pace. First kilometre was the quickest. But Mo Farah nice and comfortable at the front. Out of trouble. You don't want anything silly to happen. Ibrahimov just in second place, and Arikan on the curb in third. Well, as I said, not for everybody. His pace is comfortable. It's certainly stringing them out a little bit. Michku's just trying to hang on to the back of that leading group of about 12 athletes, and just behind him, Fraser just taking a little bit closer over as well.
I think it was Van der Wielen of the Netherlands who was down and out then. Just interested to see, you mentioned right at the beginning that Jesus Espana hadn't run a 5,000 metres this year. He hasn't covered any move that Mo Farah has made so far. Alves has, his Spanish teammate, who's back in about 5th place. As we see Andreas Torkelsen.
The men's 5,000 metre final just beginning to warm up a little bit. Mo Farah checking who's on his shoulder. He's been happy just to lead at a fairly comfortable pace for the last couple of laps. And he doesn't mind the sort of pace that they're running here. It's very, very slow for him. And to be fair, for many of the others, this is fairly comfortable as well. They're not operating in the sort of territory that Farah would normally expect to be working in. Ibrahimov has been very close to Farah. Watched him all the way. Arikan of Turkey in 3rd place. Gabius of Germany in 4th. And then maybe one of the big dangers, Durand of France, just moving up for the first time to take a little bit closer order. Meucci of Italy also in that leading group, as they go through 4 kilometres in 11:03. So heading for something in the 13:30s if you accept that they're going to speed up the last 1,000 metres or so. And Farah just winding it up gradually. This is his part of the race. This is the bit that come the Olympic Games he's going to have to be very, very strong at. But he's happy not to kick yet as they come round with 2 to go.
Mo Farah looking in command in this 5,000 metre race. 2 laps to go, and Mo Farah, well, he's known what he's going to do in this race. Presumably a plan was set by him and his coach, and he stuck to it so far, so no surprises for Mo Farah. Out to retain his title, which he won brilliantly ahead of Jesus Espana, who's also in this race. But the pace is really beginning to wind up. Ibrahimov is there in 2nd place. Arikan is there as well. And Gabius, the big, tall German, who's got a strong finish as well. As the pace winds up, they're all still there.
Farah gradually turning the screw. Gradually, they're falling off the back one by one. The 2 Spaniards aren't able to live with this, and he hasn't really started to kick yet. Ibrahimov knows how quick it can be from the last European Championships they ran together. Arikan looks as though he's rocking and rolling a little bit. Durand looks fairly comfortable, the Frenchman in 4th place. Gabius on the inside, and Meucci of Italy. They take the bell. Farah still leading, controlling from the front. That's a 61.5 on the previous lap. This one will be quicker. Farah stretching them out now, and this is what he's good at. It's deceptively quick when he gets those legs moving. Arikan trying to stay with him. He's working hard. Gabius finding a little bit of room on the inside. Durand should have cut him off there and is trying to respond. It's between those 4 for the medals, but Farah will keep the pressure on. 200 metres to go. He won the title 2 years ago in Barcelona, really announcing himself to the world. In fact, he was the double champion, and he's going to retain his title here. I can say that with supreme confidence as he attacks the last 110 metres. Mo Farah now turns on the burners. Now the big kick starts. It's exhibition time for Mo Farah. It's going to be another gold medal for the man from Great Britain. And what a start we hope to 2012 season in terms of championships. Farah takes the gold, retains his title. Gabius takes the silver medal. And Arikan just hangs on for the bronze. 53.69 the last lap. He just wound it up and wound it up, as he does. And that was a rehearsal. And it's a very, very good rehearsal indeed for what's to come in the Olympic Games. And if the result could be the same in the 5,000 metres or indeed the 10,000 metres, then we'll all be very, very happy indeed. Pretty impressive from Farah. Real good acceleration of the last 120, 130. He's just moving nicely here. He's so sort of smooth, isn't he, when he's moving at speed. And a lot of that 53.6 last lap, a lot of it was in the last sort of 120, 130 metres. It's just deceptive. People think, oh, we've got him. But you just kind of get in terms of them. And this is where he's now strong. He's got so much speed, almost throwing him wide off the bend there, Paul.
Well, we know the sort of finishing speed that Mo's going to have to cope with in the Olympic Games. Some of the Africans are just as quick. But that is a real confidence booster at just the right time for Great Britain's Mo Farah.